That actually, so I remember you saying like offline is sometimes not even conducive to community building, or maybe that was, I don't remember if that's exactly what you said, but we can talk about that too, because that's very curious to me. Like, because there are so many online forums that are good, but maybe that's different from community building. Why do you think that offline, maybe because of post-COVID, we crave that like community, we crave that time in person. But have you found in any case like an online, exclusively online community that does things well, what was working for them? Or why do you think that that's maybe not a trend or a space that would be good for community building? Hope that makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna let's see that if I can answer it correctly. So the online communities that I've seen that tend to swell and grow tend to be communities about people teaching you how to grow your followers online.
No.
So join the community to grow.
This is how you'll hack this.
This is how you'll hack this. This
Yeah.
is a quick fix. So people like to sell growth and they like to sell money. So I am a 7-figure entrepreneur and join my community to make money. They're selling you money or they're selling you growth. Like you can't sell those two things.
That doesn't work for everyone.
It doesn't work for anyone, but it works for the one person doing it. It's a pyramid scheme. Those are the bizarre online communities that I want absolutely no part of.
Yeah.
But a real life community, it is more valuable to have 5 people in a room than 5,000 follow you online, because one human connection can change your entire life. So when you cultivate that, it starts to become really relevant. And there was one thing, I think he's nuts, but the guy who did WeWork, Adam Newman, one thing he did say, they had him say in the documentary, he flew to this event, he did this huge talk on stage, and afterwards his father asked him why, and he did it for one man that he knew was going to be in the audience. He did all of that because there was one person. And afterwards, that man came up to him and they did a huge deal. On social media, you are posting for one.
Yeah.
You don't need to reach 1,000, but if you have one person who introduces you to someone or builds a deal, that's what it's really all about. So even now with a low reach, you may post something and it gets 2 likes, but if one person reaches out to you in your DMs and builds a connection, it's actually been a valuable post. So again, it's checking those measures of, has this formed a connection or a lead, or did it just get like a ton of likes? And that's the same thing with the viral trends. Do you really want to go viral and have 10,000 people who don't follow you like what you did in a fleeting moment?
Yeah.
Or do you want to have 5 who buy from you? And I would rather have sales than virality.
Yeah, I agree. And that just made me think like you'll have a ton of views on something you post, but no contact. And I don't find that rewarding at all. And I think most of the ways, like the way we think about marketing, because we're such a community focused company and our team is all about being true and honest to the work we provide our community. Like, I think we're fine. You know, if we don't get mad numbers, what we want is just that one connection, that one person saying, I took this course, loved it, or I got this product, loved it. And those are the things that actually feel like, oh, what we're marketing is good. And maybe if sometimes, sure, like everybody will make a mistake or not marketing in a clever way, or we're saying something that feels really inorganic and like, I don't know, superficial. But I think, like you said, keep it human first. We are trying to cater to that one person who will listen and wants this versus like trying to get as much traction as we possibly can, because it doesn't always work.
Yeah. And the others who are like you, like treating people as equals, assuming that when you share what you love, they'll resonate with that, instead of thinking we always have to give a tip or a trick or teaching down to people who need to learn what we know, rather just connect with people who are on the same page, and then you all like rise up together. So it's just a different approach of the way that we're moving forward. And I think it's letting go a lot of the preconceived ideas and a lot of the ways that we've been taught to do things, and to question, who taught me that? Who was that person? Are they all the exact same demographic from a very like wealthy background or particular country? Or is their perspective on life really the same as where I'm from and who I'm trying to reach? And so just to always challenge your assumption, and challenge your assumption with data. And the data is really another way of saying people. Challenge your assumption with people, your audience, your people who you want to connect with, which is not the whole world, but just the next person who's going to buy your product or your service, like one person at a time.
I'm curious, how do you handle negative feedback? If like anybody, or if you see online just absolute hatred and vitriol, would you say that's also valuable? Do you take a more positive stance? Because I feel like that's maybe your over a perspective, but
I used to engage in negative feedback. Like I would engage with trolls, or I tried to explain myself, or fight or argue. This was
always around. Like people always make time to be rude.
Totally.
Which is like, oh my gosh, please don't.
Yeah,
we work so hard for this.
It's a big thing online. Until I realized that a lot of people are just rage baiting. I feel that social media can be a form of a spiritual practice, which means that you could use it in a way of which you're choosing to deal with life, because it's a microcosm, and you can decide to have a boundary in place and not let certain things into that.
Yeah.
So you can engage with those negative people, or you can just block them because they're not worth your time, and you only respond to love. So I only respond to love. I will not engage with hate. I just block it. I'm not interested. That's not how I want to show up in the world, and I don't want to allow that into my community either.
Yeah.
So I also make sure then that I'm blocking that off. And if I'm receiving messages on LinkedIn, spammy sales stuff, I got such an annoying one the other day, this random person telling me that like I've got no social media presence and they can help me. Like,
we get loads of those too.
Yeah, I'm like, I've got no social media presence. Like,
look at
what?
you.
Like, who are you? And I just said, I know you're trying your best, but like insulting someone is just not the way to go. Mm-hmm. Like coming in with the whole, you need me, I'll help you, is so off-putting. We're all adults. Like, collaboration is one thing and doing creative things that are fun, but like I don't need help. It's a very bizarre concept that a stranger will just pull me out of my weak spot and take me up to their level. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But I can just block all those people off and instead use social media as a place to connect with, for example, horror writers or other creative strategists or people that I want to meet in the city that I'm in. And I can use it for good.
Yeah.
I don't have to engage with influencers or celebrities that irritate me. I can just block them out, and I can curate my feed to reveal or respond or reflect what I'm into. And then it becomes a beautiful place of inspiration and loveliness and like-minded people and sharing, instead of the cesspool of trolls and influencers and celebrities and grifters trying to sell me on their course.
Thanks for sticking with us till the end. So, what did you think? If you found this video useful, why not give us a like? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you next time.